Hello everyone. So today's video is going to be a little different from my other videos because it's an ASMR video. You're gonna have to excuse if there's some background noise because I live in a house with 6 other people and 2 loud dogs. So I'm gonna try my best, but let's get into some background about me and ASMR. I've been listening to ASMR since I was 12, so since 2014. And I've loved it ever since. I watch it all the time. ASMR and true crime are my 2 go-to genres. I watch ASMR during the day. So I'm gonna do some soft speaking in this video, and the reason I'm making this video is because I have an exam in a few hours and I just want to relax myself. I've not been feeling too well lately, and so I just want to center myself, be excited, and not stressed. And so I was like, I have the equipment to make an ASMR video, I might as well. I am obviously soft speaking in this video rather than whispering, and the reason is because most of my viewers are probably not ASMR watchers, and so I didn't want to freak you out. I actually don't really prefer soft speaking, I prefer whispering, but I thought, let's try this for this video. So this video is going to be comprised of a few triggers, but let's jump into the first, which is just going to take a moment to light a candle. And this is the candle I'm going to be lighting. It's really beautiful. It's my sister's candle, and it's her writing candle. She always lights it before she writes. And it's beautiful. It's woven. So it's really pretty. And it's square, and it kind of got a red color on the inside, but it's a giant brick of of wax. So it's quite nice. It's a little heavy because it is solid, but it's really nice, and it always sets the ambience for whenever we write together. She'll light this candle, and even when she writes on her own, it's really nice. It shows me oh, Sarah's in writing time, so I'm gonna light this candle. These are the matches. Once my sister told my grandma we need to get some matches, and my grandma showed up with I think it was maybe over 20 boxes of matches, tons of these tiny ones, and then tons of the giant boxes. So yeah, we haven't run out of matches. These have probably lasted 4 years. So this video is going to be a lot of me talking about Mothwork, my novel, because I started rereading it. Fire's kind of a thing in Mothwork. A little bit of motif. So I'm going to leave this just next to the mic. I don't know how well you'll be able to hear it, but relaxation. I thought it would be a good way to start a video. One of my favorite ASMR artists, Goodnight Moon ASMR. She starts her videos, or at least she used to, I'm not sure if she does anymore, by lighting a candle. And so it's kind of a nice ritual. So anyway, so like I mentioned, today's video I'm going to be talking about my novel Mothwork. So for the people who are here because of my AuthorTube channel, you probably already know about Mothwork. I have a whole video talking about it. It's not ASMR because this isn't an ASMR channel. Mothwork is a novel that I wrote. It was my 10th novel, and it's I don't know what it's about. It's very gay. It's like a romance, adventure, literary fiction kind of mashup. And so it's a lot of fun, and I'm going to talk about it and also read a little bit from the first chapter. This is Mothwork. It's not published. I get questions about this all the time, but this is just a dust jacket. I had to do an assignment for school, and so they were do whatever you want. It just has to be creative. And so I was okay, dude, I'm gonna do something that will benefit me. So I made myself a dust jacket for my own book, for my class, for a university class, right? That's the best thing, right? You've never heard of an assignment so cool when you can just do something for yourself. So I made this, and it was difficult because I go to school across the country, so I didn't bring all of my books with me. I only brought a few that I wanted to read, and this one, the book underneath this, Do Not Say We Have Nothing by Madeline Tien. It is a large book, and it's because when I was across the country, obviously, I didn't have a choice. I only had this hardcover. This was the only one I had, so I had to make the dust jacket quite big, which I'm not complaining about because it's really cute. I display it on top of my bookshelf, along with the other one for book 2 of Mothwork Feeding Habits, and I have a video on my channel of me making this, if you want to see, and I have a video on how to make dust jackets yourself. But yeah, the book on the inside is not my book. This is mine. There's this, you can see like a little moth inside of like a sconce. And there's the title, Mothwork. Yeah. And so the book cover has the 2 main characters on it because I kind of was just like, I'm gonna move this candle a little further away. I want to self-indulge. And so I wanted to draw my boys, basically. So on the front cover, Lonan looks so funny. This is Lonan. He has better hair than I do. Or at least he would like you to think so. And he's wearing a little, it's a guardian angel necklace. So that's Lonan. And on the back, we have Harrison. And somebody scratched Harrison. I don't know who, but poor thing. Which is kind of accurate for how he feels in this book. But the back has like a blurb. I have a blurb for Mothwork, but I didn't print it out for this video, so sorry about that. I will link like my blog about Mothwork and also obviously the all about my novel video. But the back says, the dark room isn't haunted, but a dead man owns it, and they know which one. Harrison isn't sleeping, Lonan isn't seeing ghosts, but there's a spirit in the woods, something unafraid to veer them apart, and it's surfacing in them both. I put the candle behind me because I didn't want to burn the book. But anyway, so funniest story about the lines on the back. The first one, the dark room isn't haunted, but a dead man owns it, and they know which one. So the first line of Mothwork actually is, the dark room isn't haunted, but a dead man owns it, so who knows? I wrote that line. It was just a random line that came to me, and I didn't really revise it. I didn't like the, so who knows? It was a bit too conversational, I think, than I wanted it. So when I needed to write a blurb, because I needed something for the back for my assignment, I was like, okay, I could use that first line, but the so who knows didn't make a really good first sentence for like a back jacket. So I came up with, but a dead man owns it, and they know which one. And I was like, that's so much better than the first sentence. I'm gonna change the first sentence to that. So that's a story about Mothwork's first sentence, but there's tons of like overlays, and you can see there's like a forest behind Harrison. Yeah. And oh, did you notice something? Look carefully at Harrison's ear, and then look carefully at mine. We're matching. My sister made me a replica of Harrison's earring because she's the best, so I'm wearing that today. I always wanted to make a video where I just tapped on this book because I thought it sounded quite nice, like it's crisp. Does that make any sense? Like, it sounds quite nice. This is actually like a poster print from Walmart. I remember having to take the bus to get this. And I didn't want to bend it on the bus. I was kind of freaked out I would, but it's fine. It actually was shipped across the country when COVID hit. My sister and I had to pack up our dorm. And so had to ship our books back because we didn't have enough space to bring them, and we ended up buying a lot of books when we were out there, so I shipped this back. So, it's gone on a journey. It was born on the west coast of Canada, and it came back with me to the east coast. Anyway, I'm going to stop tapping on Lonan's face now. And I thought I would read a little bit of Mothwork. A little bit of a foreword about Mothwork is I started writing it because I was having a mental health crisis, and I needed something to make me feel better, not unlike why I'm making this video now. And so I started writing it because these boys make me really happy. They're like really precious to me. And so one day I started writing this story about their romance, and it came out from there. It was just supposed to be a fun story where I didn't care about the writing quality. I was in high school when I started writing this, and I was in grade 12. And then I started my writing degree in that summer, my first year, and that September. And I was embarrassed by it immediately because I was like, why is a writing major writing something that's so cringy? And I felt really ashamed by it, but at the same time I really loved it. And so then I finished it while I was in university right before the pandemic hit in early March, I think. And I was really excited that I finished it, but shortly after I just started getting really embarrassed by it. Anyway, so a few nights ago I started reading it to cheer myself up because, online school's really hard. I was like, you know what, let me make myself feel better. I loved it when I started reading it again. I had so much fun when I was rereading it. And I read the first 3 chapters in one sitting. I was like, this is awesome. So today I'm going to read chapter 1, like a scene from chapter 1, the first scene. So I'm going to open it up. And no, again, this is not my book on the inside. But what I did do for this video is I taped my book on the inside just so it would look like I was reading my book. So I didn't want to just hold up a piece of paper. So, I'm doing the most for you. So let's read it. This is Mothwork by me. Chapter 1, False Idol. The dark room isn't haunted, but a dead man owns it, and they know which one. It sits in the forest like a rejected organ, misplaced and veiny with perennials. Negatives and cigarette butts litter the entrance, clinging to the steel panel door. From an aerial, they might look like misplaced stars. Harrison shoulders the door first, traps it open with his boot. Dust and sun rays rake his back as he combs through cardboard boxes and mountains of photo paper. Lonan follows silently, still wearing Harrison's jacket. Trails of smoke from his cigarette catch in the negatives pinned up by clothespins, chemical peeling between layers of ink. In one hand, he tends to his smoke, and in the next lugs in the canister of gasoline they found in the cabin cellar. As Harrison fumbles for his flashlight, Lonan sets it down by the table and it sloshes like the Pacific. He stares at his fingers and the tools, the open bottles of developing fluid, anything but the pictures. Harrison clicks his flashlight on and puts it face up on the table. "You sure you want to do this?" he asks, taking the cigarette Lonan offers him. "I don't condone smoking. I don't know what was with me in writing my characters smoking so much, but I promise they quit." The dark room decolorizes them, like they've stepped into an alternate, colorless dimension. Why would anyone else want to see this? Harrison doesn't have to ask him to elaborate. Even he can't look around. This isn't an art museum. No oils and linseed on canvas. No Roman sculptures. No black-suited man in the corner, ushering onlookers to stay a foot away from the wall. No exceptions. Lonan's hypothesized his father built it in the 80s. The darkroom first, then the cabin. The rush of the river not too far away. The walls obscene and naked. "Right," he says. Harrison clears his throat and fumbles for his lighter. As he's pulling it out, it slips out of his fingers, does 2 skips onto the floor and under the cabinet. He crouches and brings the flashlight with him, shining it under the cabinet. Dust bunnies and forgotten pencils brush his wrist, but he locks his fingers around the lighter and pulls it out. It slides out with a skate, bringing along a postcard-sized photograph with it. Wrist brushes both off and rises, delirious. He turns the photograph over and shines the flashlight on it. It's scratched and developed wrong, little bits of orange obscuring the woman's face. A dark bob and bangs in her eyes, jewelry hanging from her septum. Her sunshades enough to reflect the vaguely European street behind her. The discreet jet of ink on her skin, blues and greens peeking out from under her sleeve. Izzy, he assumes. Lonan's mother. Nudging Lonan with an elbow, he says, I didn't know your mom has tattoos. Lonan takes the photograph cautiously, holding it by the corners like it'll burn him. His brow wavers, but it takes him only 3 seconds to say, That's not my mother. He takes the flashlight from Harrison and examines it closer, fingers nimble, tracing the edges. In the gray light of the dark room, he looks nullified, just a monochromatic hum of chromosomes and skin. Harrison is about to forget it, grab the canister of gasoline and start lining the workshop, unscrew the lid, soak the floorboards. He even goes so far as to start moving boxes to the outer ring. It's only Lonan's unusual focus on the photograph that stops him. That's my mom's ring. Harrison's brows furrow. Why would she have Izzy's ring? Not Izzy, but the woman who raised him. Harrison realizes his mistake. Mr. Clark's wife, the woman who made him a cheater and Izzy a mistress. And indeed, the woman in the photo is wearing her ring. Guess who else is wearing her ring? Me. Harrison has seen it before in pictures from Lonan's journals. An amber band marbled with coppers and yellows. The photo is signed ELK, her handwriting loose, like she penned it on a train, wobbling between her legs. Do you know who she is? Harrison asks. Why would I know who she is? Lonan's jaw sets, warbling like cherry-flavored jello. When he flips the postcard over and begins to tear it, its only reflex to lunge for it. Harrison knocks Lonan back so unexpectedly, he loses his footing and smashes back into a Jenga stack of picture frames. Splinters of wood and glass starburst onto the tile, an uncolorful mosaic. Bottles of developer and rolls of film whir absently. Harrison pulls the photo into his chest and juts a hand out, both a sign of defense and surrender. Give me the picture, Harrison. We can find her. Don't you want to find her? She knew your father, Harrison says. Lonan kicks the pile of broken picture frames with his boot so they crash into the corner. Harrison jumps, bits of glass crushing under his soul. You genuinely think I want to find one of my father's mistresses? Good question. Maybe she can tell you more about this place, this room, or the cabin even. You don't want to talk to her? I don't want to talk to anybody who is remotely interested in my father. And I get that, but that's it. There's nothing else to it. Lonan steps over the broken glass, the wood, the displaced film rolls, and jars the door open so hard, Harrison feels it in his teeth. And that's the first scene. So that's moth work, everybody. And now I'm gonna do a few tapping triggers and scratching and stuff on some triggers that I thought were relevant to the book. And I think I'm gonna start with this one. And it's a jewelry box, but it's covered in shells, so it has stuff in it. But I think we got this on a family vacation a long time ago. And the reason why I'm putting it in this video is because moth work takes place by the water, a lot of it. If I had continued reading the chapter, there's a scene where the boys go out on a canoe. So there's a beach, and so I thought, oh, this is really cute. Might as well use it in this video. And it sounds quite nice too. There's lots of different textures to play around with. There's a scene in Moth Workbook 2, which is called Feeding Habits, what I'm working on right now, where Lonan and Harrison are on the beach again because, everything happens on the beach in month. And Lonan is collecting like seashells from the beach, because Harrison's trying to get them to go out on a boat, but now he's scared of water for events that happened in the next book, so he's kind of scared of water. So it's like, why are you collecting the seashells? Like, nobody's gonna buy those from you. But I guess it would kind of look like this one, like the clamshell. Is that a clamshell? I don't know actually, but it has like the lines. Yeah, but the boys are really chaotic. But I love them. They're like my family. I've been writing with them for so long. If you're new here and didn't know that, but it's been about 6 years. So that's gonna be it for that trigger. And now I'm gonna go on to the next one. I only have 2 more. There's this thing with, like, I don't know what this is. I'm gonna call it a mandarin, but it probably isn't. It might be a clementine. I don't know the difference. Tangerine? I don't know what this fruit is, but whatever fruit this is important to the boys. I call it a mandarin in Mothwork, but for some reason they always share these, which is weird. So because this fruit is important to the boys, I was like, this is relevant. So I'm gonna try to peel it, but I'm really bad at peeling these things. And don't worry, I'm not gonna eat it. I won't eat it. I know not a lot of people like eating sounds. I do. I love eating ASMR. I watch tons of those videos like every day. It's like probably my favorite genre, but I'm not gonna eat it. It's fine. But I actually have a short story with the boys in it called Mandarin. So satisfying. And so that's fun. Okay, and that's it for this fruit, whatever it is, because it's gone now. It was already peeled off, so that was a short trigger. But okay. So the final trigger in today's video is going to be an Earl Grey tea segment. So the boys always also share Earl Grey tea. Obviously, in the pandemic, like sharing food with people is like, oh my god, don't do that. Like, you know, the book doesn't take place in the pandemic, and so they definitely share tea a lot in the books, which is fun. And so Lonan's favorite tea is Earl Grey, and Harrison doesn't like it. It tastes like perfume to him. Like my mom always used to say that about Earl Grey. But they always share a cup, like, every time they're together. So I'm not going to drink any tea in this video, but I am going to show you some tea that I have. So I'm going to start with this packet. For some crinkles. So this is just like a gold bag of tea. And then it has like tons of these little sachets. Earl Grey tea, so good. I had this really fancy. I went on a school trip when I was in high school to a university, and the university had Earl Grey tea, but it was like bougie. It was in in like those silk bags that are probably really bad for the environment. And but it was awesome, and it had like flowers of bergamot. You could see like the purple flower, and it was so pretty. I drank so much of that fucking tea. Like I had no Earl Grey tea by the end of it. So I think Lonan drinks his tea black, like this. I'm always for black teas. My grandma, she has this thing. She makes tea, and since I was little, I've been drinking tea. I love green tea, but she also makes orange pekoe, and she always does milk and sugar. And so that's just how I drink my black tea. Any other tea, absolutely not drinking with milk and sugar. But black teas like this, I will drink with milk and sugar. And don't worry, these tea bags are not going to go to waste, even though I'm touching them. I'll drink them. It's going to be fine. It's fine. So yeah, I have an exam soon. It's on like comic books, so it shouldn't be too bad. But I'm feeling very relaxed, and I hope you're relaxed. Okay, so now the next variety is this tea. I got it from Winners, I think. Like my mom and I used to always go shopping there before the pandemic. And it's this Touch, I think. Torch? I don't know. Organic. I can't. Oh, Touch Organic. Touch Organic. Organic. Yeah, Touch Organic. Anyway, I'm gonna stop flailing around the tea, but so it's like a tin lid. I don't know why Lonan likes this tea. I never liked it growing up because my mom didn't like it, but when I started drinking London Fogs, oh yeah. Then it has like this cardboard on the side. And this is like a loose leaf tea. But this is actually green tea. It's Earl Grey green tea. I'm not gonna take it out, but you can see it's in there. But yeah, this video is getting a little long, so I think I'm gonna call it a day. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun talking to you guys about moth work and reading and doing some short moth work triggers. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.